सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावतीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्तदामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुवन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः। ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः। देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः। Science talks about facts. And when we understand a fact, there is no need for faith. Fire is hot is not an opinion or an idea, a possibility, or somebody's perception. It is a fact. So fire is hot is a fact and not born out of faith. So science says the world is a fact. It's a reality. You can experience. I experience it, you experience it, and everybody experiences it. Therefore, it is a fact. And where there is a fact, there is no need for a faith. So those who think, or those who have this opinion, that the whole life, we only need to know what are the facts. There is no need for a faith. Religion is usually is referred as a faith. There is no need for a faith when everything can be known through scientific experimentations as a fact. So where is the faith, or what is the need for the faith? The science uses certain means to understand a fact. Right? If there is a telescope which shows me the distant star today, and that existence is a fact. At the same time, some other star which is much farther than that, which is not presently can be seen with the present equipment that I have, does it exist? Does it exist? So according to science, it doesn't exist. Why? I don't have the equipment to know it, or the equipment that I have doesn't show it. But if there is a star that exists, which cannot be seen by you, doesn't mean because you don't see it, it doesn't exist. So, therefore, religion says just because you do not have the equipment to experience does not mean it doesn't exist. What is the scientific standpoint about oneself or one's own mind? I think, therefore I am. Whereas philosophy, especially Hindu philosophy, says it is not that because you think you exist, it is you exist, therefore you think. Your existence comes before you start thinking. Do you think, therefore you exist? And if you stop thinking, you don't exist. There are many people who never think. Do they exist or not? When you were very young, you are not thinking the way you think today. Did you exist or not? So, the fact always depends upon the means of knowledge. If the means of knowledge is not available or limited, even what is there cannot be known. Therefore, Bhagavan Krishna says, you do not know the self, doesn't mean it doesn't exist. You cannot see the self or hear or taste or smell or touch, even think. Amrutabindu Upanishad says, Naiva chintyam nacha achintyam. Nachintyam chintyam eva tat. Pakshapada vinirmuktam Brahma sampatyate tada. What it means? That reality is not subject to be thought of. It is not subject to be. Naiva chintyam. Chintyam means thinkable. Na eva chintyam. It is not thinkable. Meaning, it cannot be thought of. Oh, Swamiji, that is what I was for the whole life until now, until you told me that the Paramatma, the self is. Now, it cannot be thought of, that's what you're saying. Yes. The next statement, Nacha achintyam. Don't stop thinking. This apparent contradiction is the nature of Upanishads. And that doesn't mean to confuse you. The way you think has to change. Many places you will find the Upanishads talk about it. Tad ejati, it moves. Tanna ejati, it doesn't move. Tad dure, it is far. Tatu antike, it is the closest. So the students say, just tell me one thing only. I think you are confused. Is it far or near? Is it moving or not moving? It depends upon what equipment through which you are seeing. So, naiva chintyam, it cannot be thought of. Nacha achintyam, it cannot be not thought of. Why it is not be thought of? Because it is not an object of your thought. It cannot be an object of your thought. Like an object, you cannot think about it. But without thinking about it, you cannot be there. Naiva chintyam nacha chintyam achintyam chintyam eva tat. So if I ask you, are you intelligent or an idiot? What is your answer? Intel inside, idiot outside, right? So if I ask you, are you happy or unhappy? Okay, let us not go intelligent, idiot and all this. Are you happy or unhappy? Most of the youngsters would say, and you also, depends. With the shirking shoulders, depends. Why? Are you happy or unhappy? Depends. If you keep asking, I'll be unhappy. Because in this relative world, we cannot have absolute state of mind. Awareness is absoluteness, not relative. As much as knowledge and ignorance are relative realities, but that which knows both is absolute. That is why there are 3 levels of reality talked about in Vedanta. Relative reality, perceptual reality, and absolute reality. The relative reality is otherwise known as transactional reality. Vyavaharika satta. Vyavahare yat satyam. What is available for you as reality in the world of transactions? Is it day or night now? It depends upon where you are. If I take a phone and call somebody in India, I ask the same question, what is the answer? It will be contradictory to what you are saying. Where are you? It depends on that. So our mental state presently, as I asked, are you happy or unhappy? Depends. Are you it is day or night? Depends. Are you young or old? Depends. If I am in the company of all the 80-year-olds, I am very young. If I am in the company of all the 15 and 20, I'm old. Are you tall or short? Depends. So, this is called transactional reality. Vyavaharika satta. And Atman, the reality, is not a Vyavaharika satta. It is not a transactional reality. Next one is perceptual reality. Perceptual reality is the way you see it. Based upon your knowledge and understanding. Also, what you have as your set of likes and dislikes. Dream is a perceptual reality. Because in that perceptual reality, you alone is the experiencer. In the relative reality, I can participate with you. All our transactions are with ourselves as well as with others and objects in the world. Whereas perceptual reality, at one level, it is like a dream where the way I think is the way I experience it. Are you a good person or bad person? If I ask you, definitely you would say that as far as I am concerned, I am the good person. But others are concerned, I don't know. Now, the way I look at myself or the way I look at the world, what are the things you like is not the same thing somebody else likes it. So, according to my perception, these are the things I like. According to my perception, these are the things I don't like. And therefore, all our life is all about sukha prapti and dukkha nivritti. Going after what is joyful and going away from what is painful. This is the autobiography of a bogi. You can write a book, autobiography of a bogie. Because all people who are of the worldly nature will be dividing the world into two parts as things I like and things I don't like, things I want, things I don't want, things I want to own, things I want to get rid of. And what you get rid of, somebody wants it. Is it not? Nothing in this world goes waste. Nothing. What you eat and then what you let it go is a food for something else. It survives on that. There are many bacteria or the germs are surviving on your excreta. And those germs will survive in that, and then they go to the earth and become part of the mulch, and then from there you eat apple. So the apple is a byproduct of, I don't want to say. So perceptual reality is the way I look at it. Especially in dream, as well as in the world, things I like, things I don't like. And this is the autobiography of all of us. We either in the world of transactional reality or in the world of perceptual reality. One is called Vyavaharika Satta, another is called Pratibhasika Satta. Pratibhasa, the way you reflect on. And we are busy with these two, therefore we are not inquiring into what is absolute reality. What is it called? As Paramarthika Satta, absolute reality. And those who are inquiring into the Paramarthika Satta, absolute reality, are called sadhus. Because they want to know what is the absolute fact. Sat is what they want to know. Sadichanti sadhavaha. What is sadhu? Who is a sadhu? Sadhu means one who is sattvic. Or sadhu means one who is engaging in sadhana. What sadhana is that he or she is engaging in? Sat. What is the absolute fact? Science also is looking for absolute fact, truly speaking. But they are trying to understand the absolute fact with the help of some external instrument. And therefore, their inquiry and their experimentation is conditioned by the equipment they are using. As I said, the telescope decides what you want to see. Or because your eyes cannot see it, eyes can see only certain amount of this or certain distance only, and therefore they need to use an external equipment of a telescope to see what cannot be seen by the eyes. Even that is limited. And therefore they say whatever their telescope can report, that alone is the reality. Until a much powerful telescope comes into the market. Then they change their opinion. Is it not true that for a long time the scientists thought that the world is flat? And then they changed the opinion. Why? Because the fact came. What? It is not. They keep changing according to their own progress in the means of knowledge. And since they are continuously experimenting on the available means of knowledge, they do not accept the means of knowledge called Shastra. Shastra, the scriptures, which are written down by people who have meditated upon the absolute reality and accounted it for and saying that this is a pramana. Pramana means a means to knowledge, but the scientists say that is not the means to knowledge. And those who say, we are scientific thinkers, don't you believe in what the scientists say? And what is your pramana for the world is, or the earth is flat? What is your pramana? Tell me. Have you seen it? Did you go outside this earth and to see that it's flat or not? Did you see it? Then how do you know? How do you believe it? Somebody said it. Some set of scientists said it. And they changed the opinion after some time. That also you understand that. But the rishis who have gained access to the absolute reality, what they have written down is pramana. For what? It is not about the reality of the world, about one's own reality. Who I am. Therefore, Vedanta is a pramana. It's a means of knowledge. Now, one may say, why should I take it to be true? Why should I take the Vedanta as a pramana? As much as, why should you take a scientist as pramana? Or what they say as pramana? Swamiji, it is printed. Even that is printed. They showed it in the TV. It doesn't mean just whatever they show in the TV need not be a pramana. So Vedanta says, take it as a pramana and prove it to yourself. So taking it as a pramana is called faith, proving it to yourself is going to be the fact. So those who have taken this, the scriptures as a pramana, with faith, what is faith here? Possibility of truth. Even for that matter, science, any discovery science makes, it's only hypothesis. Based upon the hypothesis, they proceed on possibility and then prove it to be a reality. How do you know that we can go to the moon? Possibility is there. I can go to the moon. Okay, let us try. After many attempts, they landed there. Then, whatever they had it as an hypothesis became a reality. Similarly, Vedanta as a pramana should be taken with faith. Without that, you cannot move forward. When Vedanta says your goal of life is happiness, and you are the happiness. This, you have to take it with faith and prove it to yourself with the available means, available practices that are prescribed, and ultimately when you come to know it, you will smile. Yes, that is right. And turn around, there are enough people who don't believe you. You were in that same predicament before, who did not believe it. Shraddhavan labate jnanam. Only a man of faith gains this absolute knowledge. For scientific facts, you do not need Shraddha. But in the spiritual reality, one begins the journey with Asti Tyeva Upalabdhavya. Upanishad says, start the journey with the faith that it is. If you are sending your children to your son or daughter to school, and that fellow learns math, 1 + 1 is 2, and he is very intelligent, comes home, Daddy, yes, prove 1 + 1 is 2. What is the answer for you? But how do you prove 1 + 1 is 2? How can you prove 1 + 1 is 2? Tell me. It's a mathematical formula and fact. How do you prove it? There's somebody here who is my expert in math, I was told. Prove 1 + 1 is 2. Where is he? Oh, yeah, Gurukul. Where is he? I saw him somewhere. Raise your hand. He's hiding. 1 + 1 is 2. Ah, there you are. How do you prove? What is the method to prove 1 plus 1 is 2? Without understanding 1 plus 1, 2, can the math start for the child? In the same way, take it with that understanding. Yes, it is possible. So without that basic faith, you will not be able to proceed further. No inquiry will take place if you don't even start. So what is not known to me as a fact today, but there is a possibility of it being a fact, the journey will begin only when I start with faith. After you were born, your mother says, this is your father. Did you have a doubt about it? This doesn't look like. Mom, yes. Can I do DNA test, please? That means you are not believing in your father, mother. You don't have faith in your mother then. As much as you had the faith in your mother who says this is your father, the Guru says this is the truth. So the one who is taking the scriptures, Vedanta as a pramana and starts to inquire into the reality of it is known as a sadhu. And why I am coming to the point is, such people, when they are engaging in the inquiry into the truth, there are enough people to trouble them. And therefore I have to protect them. Paritranaya sadhunam.
Paritranaya sadhunam.
Paritranaya sadhunam. Vinashaya cha dushkritam. Dharma samsthapanarthaya. Sambhavami yuge yuge. Scriptures are none other than the breath of God, the swasa of the Lord. So it is not that Bhagavan wrote the scriptures and then talked about it. Whatever he said is the scripture. So when he gave this knowledge to Arjun, hey Arjun, understand that that cannot be cut, that cannot be dried, that cannot be burned. We saw that in the 2nd chapter. What did he say? Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavakaha, nachainam kletayantyapaha, nashoshayati marutaha. Have you ever seen anything which is qualifying this? Anything you have seen that cannot be cut by the weapons, dried by the air, burnt by the fire, wet by the water? Have you? So when Bhagavan talked about the possibility of this, and that is what you are, it is not presently a fact to me. But having taken that as true when I proceed on, I am a sadhu. But those who do not, and not only that, they do not believe in it, and they try to destroy those people who are trying to do that. Such people are called Rakshasas. Dushkritam vinashaya, sadhunam paritranaya. To protect the sadhus and destroy those who are trying to obstruct this process. And such sadhus, as in the beginning of this series itself I said, who are trying to reach the moksha, which is the final goal of life, they begin their journey with dharma. If moksha is not your goal, you will not follow dharma, for sure. You may do it for a short period of time, or you may do it for fear of it, but not with understanding. So therefore, dharma samsthapanarthaya, dharma as the means to start. to establish dharma. I have come many times, and every time I will come. Sambhavami yuge yuge. And why you have to come every time? Because people forget. This knowledge I gave, imam vivasvate yogam proktavanaham avyayam vivaswan manave praha manurikshvakave bravid evam parampara praptam imam rajasrayo viduhu sakalene hamahata yogo nashta parantapa. I gave this knowledge at the time of creation to the sun. Sun gave it to the first human king, Manu. Manu gave it to the next king, Ikshvaku. And this way, this knowledge has been passed on. But this knowledge that has come from one generation to another, in the course of time, got lost. Why it is lost? Because those who are passing on the knowledge did not stand by that knowledge. Or those who are listening to the knowledge did not have the mental purity to understand it. Therefore, if you do not understand it clearly, how do you practice it? So over a period of time, it lost its efficaciousness, its effect. Did not pass on correctly to the next generation. If I were to ask you after the class, what did I say? How many of you exactly translate what you learned, what you heard to your spouse at home? What did Swamiji say? I think 3 jokes. So what did he teach you? You come tomorrow. Because we do not have the capacity to grasp correctly and then pass on to the person. So over a period of time, sakalena mahata kalena, yogaha, this knowledge, nashta. Tasmat, therefore, yuge yuge sambhavami. I come again. Because Arjuna would have had the doubt, you gave this before creation. Yes. You see my ears? It's already, hole is put here. In usual, I don't know which part, in many parts of India, if somebody is getting to be fooled, that means he's showing his ear and you go piercing it. He said, how do I understand you as the one who gave the knowledge at the beginning of the universe? You are just few years older than me. How can you say this? Krishna says, you are looking at me as this, son of Vasudeva and Devaki. That's what you think I am. That's what you see me as. But that is not me. This is the equipment through which I am expressing. But I am the origin of the whole universe. So therefore, I gave this knowledge at the beginning of this entire creation, and that has been passed on over many times. But in the process, they got lost. Therefore, today, here I am again to declare the same thing. Is it not true that you tell the same thing to your son so many times? You will hear? How many times I have to tell you? One lady got very, very angry because her son in his bedroom, always everything on the ground. Every time she has to clean the place, and he is quite a grown-up boy. So she got very annoyed. So she picked up all the things and put in place, and then she wrote a note. Tomorrow onwards, everything that I pick up from the floor, I will charge you 25 cents. So next day, she went to his room. There was $5 note there. And a note also. Thank you, Mom, continue. How many times I have to tell you? Is it not that even simple communication is not heard. Absolute knowledge. Later also he said, Ascharyavat pashyati kaschidenam. Ascharyavat vadati tata evacha anyaha. Ascharyavatcha enam anyashrunodi. Shrutva api vedana chaiva kaschit. Even when you hear, you don't get it. That is why it is a secret. See, if I tell you something which you don't understand, it is secret. That's why in later you'll say Rajavidya, Rajaguhyam, Pavitram Idamuttam. Why? Even if I tell you, you don't understand. So here, I have talked about it from the beginning of this universe. So Arjuna naturally would ask, how can you be the one that you have given this knowledge at the beginning of the universe? Krishna says, I come back again and again at different times for establishing this dharma, and every time I come and descend as a living being in this universe, I am known as Avatar. Avatar. Interesting, that movie also, he's blue in color. See that? And he has a Garuda as the vehicle. All that things are there. They have just copied it. And Namam also there, then yellow Nama or something is there on that face. So, avatarati idi avataraha. Ava means down, descending. Through tarati, descendants is called avatar. Uttarati means uttara, uttaraha means ascendance. Like avarohanam, arohanam. In the music world, they say arohanam is the... I'm not a person of music, so I don't know what it is. So arohana and avarohana. Ava means coming down. So avatara means Bhagavan, the Lord, the absolute truth, taking the form and coming down to our level. Only to help us to lift ourselves to his level. He is not coming to punish us. If we are following this dharma, then it is not for him to, he is not there to punish us. But if you are against the dharma, what is dharma again? Dharma being the pursuit towards the truth. When you disturb that or you don't follow, then you are to be properly treated. Therefore, this world is none other than a correction facility. We continue to commit mistakes, and you are given an opportunity in this human birth to correct it. In this correction facility, if you do not correct yourself, you will be punished again. Go back. So Bhagavan said that I have come here and I have been coming here only to teach what is right. Sambhavami yuge yuge. Now, the dharma, as I have been explaining from the beginning, dharma is not absolute, but dharma takes you to the absolute. The word dharma has got many different contextual explanations. And Gurudev used to say dharma is, to begin with, the nature of a thing in the absence of which that thing doesn't exist. This is one definition. If we say fire is hot, it cannot be otherwise. So therefore, dharma of the fire is hot and light, heat and light. Have you seen cold fire or dark fire? No. So a dharma of a thing is the nature of it. That is its dharma. This is one meaning. But in the transactional world, dharma means what is to be done, which we saw in the earlier class as swadharma. Right? Swadharme nidanam shreyaha paradharmo bhayavaha. Swadharma, therefore, is what is that which needs to be done at any given point of time by you based upon your maturity, understanding, knowledge, etc., and inclination and all that. So here in this context, dharma is a relative term. Dharma of a thing need not be the dharma of another one. If dharma of fire is hot, dharma of water is not that. So that is relative. And what is my dharma, what I am supposed to do, is not what you are supposed to do. Because that is how the world functions. Everything has got a certain field of action, and that field of action in which it is functioning efficiently is what makes the whole world function. Just like your physical body has got many parts. Eyes, ears, nose, tongue, spleen, lungs, tongue, everything is there. And each one of them are doing a particular field of action, and because of which you are healthy. In the same way, in the human society also, all of us are having certain fields of activities, and when we engage in those fields of activities according to our inclination, the whole society will function properly. If what I am supposed to do, I don't do, and I do something else, that particular action suffers. And since you are not skillful enough to do the other one, you don't do that also not correctly. One person was watching outside his window, and he saw two city workers working on the road. One person was digging the road, another person was filling it. Then again, a fellow dug another place, that other fellow came and closed it. Again, he dug in another place, that the second fellow came and closed it. So this was going on. So this guy was, what is this? One fellow is digging, and then the other fellow comes and closes it. Another, again he digs and then closes. What a waste of time. And they put your dollar at work. What, dollar at work? Such a waste. He went down. What are you guys doing? Now what's your problem? No, this fellow digs and you close it. And again again he digs another place, he closes it. What are you trying to do? We are doing our work. His job is to dig. And my job is to close. In between us, there is one more fellow who has to put a tree. He didn't come. But we are paid. We are paid to do, we do our work. So, see the foolishness of it. You call that as intelligent action? Just doing action? So, dharma is a conscious action. Understanding the context. You should understand what is the contextual engagement. Just don't do whatever you feel like doing. And first, as I said earlier, what is to be done, and is it I am qualified to do it? Every one of our action is going to affect others in this world. If you don't do what you are supposed to do, somebody is going to suffer it. You may not see it. If one part of your body is not working, something is not working, do you think others can efficiently function? They all get affected. Is it not? And think about that in the macrocosmic level and microcosmic level too. You see, how many of you have seen your own lungs? Tell me. Heart, spleen, kidney? I've never seen, therefore it is not there. You cannot say that. Or even if you deny, it keeps working. How many of you seen your brain? I'm not. So, therefore, I understand you don't have, but I want you to say that. So, I do not see does not mean it doesn't exist. As much as what I do is going to affect somebody else's action. If I don't do my part of the work, that is your sadharma. You alone can do it. You are qualified to do it. You are expected to do it. That's why earlier he said, Tasmat asakta tasadatam karyam karma samachara. Do your part. So here Bhagavan says, a sadhu is as much important as anybody else in this world. Don't say they are useless. Some people ask, Swamiji, what was your name when you were normal? What does it mean? What does it mean? Or many of them think, these sadhu people, no, sannyasin, I think they are failures in this world. They couldn't succeed, therefore they became sadhus. Therefore they look at it with great pity. Poor fellows, couldn't succeed in this world. So the person who is pursuing the path of truth is as important as anybody else in this world. How much is a doctor important in a society? How much is a police officer important in a society or a community? A politician is important. How important that one is? So is the importance of the renunciates and sadhus, because they contribute to the wellness of the mind of the people. So if they are disturbed, what should I do? Because they won't defend themselves, because they are basically sattvic, therefore they would not go and harm anyone. Therefore I have to come. If they cannot, I will have to support them. That's why Krishna said that I will yogakshemam vahamyam. I will take care of their protection as well as what they need. I will take care of it. They don't need to do it. I will give a simple example how he takes care of it. Now, a very simple example so that you know what it means. How many of you have been to Alaska? Oh, very good number. So those dogs and cats in Alaska, they have developed a fur on their body. And if you take your dog and go and start living there for a year or two, they will develop a layer of fur on their body to protect them from the cold. So you take your cat or you take your dog. So they all develop a fur on the body because they cannot protect themselves. So Bhagavan has made sure that they are protected by nature. So your cat or a dog will develop fur. Do you? Do you? Do you develop fur there? So Bhagavan is very partial. Right? Because he is making sure that they are developed. Why not me? Because akkal diya na, akkal diya hai. He has given intelligence to you, take out from them and put it on your body. That's why you are given intelligence. So sadhus are those who by nature are not violent. That violence doesn't even come to their mind. You see the story in Ramayana also, Vishwamitra. Why did he go and look for Rama there? I am being disturbed here. He was a king, remember that. He was a very valiant king to begin with. But when he has assumed the state of being a sadhu, he has renounced that violence, he renounced himsa. So he has to be protected. This is what Bhagavan says. These sadhus who cannot protect themselves or do not protect themselves cannot be left behind because they are following the path of truth, dharma. So what do? Sadhunam paritranaya, dushkrutam vinashaya, dharma samsthapanarthaya, aham yuge yuge sambhavami. Again and again I will come. All right. So now he had talked about what is dharma to Arjuna. As I said, Swadharme Nidaram Sreya, your dharma is a Kshatriya and you have to fight the war. And there is a reason for it also, because if you don't do that and take to the path of sannyasa, since your mind is not pure enough, even if you sit in isolation in solitude, your mind will disturb you and make you get out. Therefore, engage in your action for the sake of getting rid of the impurities of the mind in the field of action. And keeping the final goal in mind, then only you can engage in the action for the purity of mind. If you ask anybody who is your friend or somebody, you have to make your mind pure, he will say, why? Because you want to meditate. I don't want to meditate. See, one who is not interested in absolute happiness, which is called moksha, if he's not interested, what sadhana such a person you will prescribe to him? What sadhana he has to do? His will be only in artha and kama, is it not? And whatever means he will get it, he will get it. That's why Bhagavan Krishna says, don't unsettle the mind of those people who are not interested in moksha. Na buddhi bedam janayet ajnanam karma sanginam. Those who are interested in work and then getting their money, etc., or wealth or pleasure, don't unsettle their mind if they are not interested in moksha. Only for those people who know that the absolute happiness is not away from me, it is very much within me only, and I am not able to experience at this present moment is because of my impurities in the mind, and that impurity has to be overcome, and for that the dharma has to be performed. So then now Bhagavan is indicating what is that state of moksha in which one obtains continuous, unbridled happiness. And how such a person will look at the world of action. So here he says,
Karmanya karmaya pasyet.
Karmanya karmaya pasyet.
Akarmani cha karmaya.
Akarmani cha karmaya.
Sabuddhiman manushyeshu.
Sayukta Krishna karma krita. Sabuddhiman, he is considered as the wise. Buddhi mat, one who has buddhi is called buddhiman. Buddhimat become buddhiman, masculine, and feminine become buddhimati. One who has buddhi. We are all buddhuman. Buddhu and buddhi. Intellect is different from intelligence. We may have intellect. When we don't use it, it doesn't become intelligence. Buddhi hai, but buddhiman nahi. Just because you have intellect does not mean you are intelligent. Sabuddhiman, he is considered as a man of wisdom. Manushyeshu, among all human beings. Who is he? One who knows what is that absolute reality which is of the nature of bliss, eternal, continuous bliss, joy, and any action he performs, he does it with great joy. Not that he will remain as a log of wood doing nothing. Krishna karma krit. Krishna means sarva. Even as he engages in all actions, he will not allow actions to disturb him at all. Krishna krit api yuktaha saha buddhiman manushyeshu. It is unfortunate that many people think Hinduism only talks about renunciation. It is not. Renunciation is not a physical giving up. It is, as I said yesterday also, it is growing up, not giving up. It's growing above. And such a person who has grown in his knowledge, he does not consider karma as an impediment or bondage. Let me give an example to you. You are playing, this part of the country, everybody plays tennis. Isn't it? Tennis capital of the country, maybe, correct? Now, you are playing, you as a father, playing a game of tennis with your son, let us say, or a daughter. And she is also very well trained. You are playing with her. And you want to give a tough fight so that she will also develop confidence to fight in such a tough fight. So she is also playing, you also playing, she is also playing. At some point of time, you are being a person who has played for a long time, you can defeat her, but you don't. You allow yourself to be defeated, to just give a thrill of joy, experience of joy to that girl, to your daughter. Will you be happy or unhappy in losing the game? Tell me. Very happy. You pretend to be as though you lost it, only to make her feel, have the thrill of how to, oh, I did, daddy. And you silently smile. Isn't it? In the same way, a man of wisdom is one in this world, while acting, he will not get affected by the result. For he is not doing it for the result. He is doing the action because action has to be completed. So, such an individual who does not depend upon the result for his happiness will engage in this world like anybody else. You will not see the difference. But such a person is undisturbed by what comes out of it. Even if he fails, he'll smile. Why? Because the one who is performing, engaging in action, is different from who I am. Just like an actor on the stage, a drama stage, fully knowing who he is, and he is acting like a beggar on the stage, and that beggar character is being abused by another character, you will enjoy that very act. For he knows, I'm not the beggar. I'm only, in the crowd, people may get angry also. Why you people are shouting at that beggar? But the beggar only smiles within him. I think I'm acting so well now. They are thinking that I'm really a beggar. So in that act of being a beggar, he's not a beggar. Karmani akarma. In that action, he sees himself not acting, not that act, not that beggar. Because who am I? From the standpoint of Vedanta, you are a karta. You are not the doer. Your eyes are seeing, nose is smelling, ears is listening, tongue is tasting, but you are not doing it. In whose presence it is happening. Similarly, the actor is not the beggar. The actor is present as the beggar. He is seen as a beggar. He is not a beggar. For he knows that even as he is behaving in this world as a beggar, he constantly has the awareness, I am not. Isn't it? If he has forgotten, then what is it? How dare you shout at me? That's what we have. We get affected by everything that goes on in our life because we are so identified with that role and we have forgotten that we are an actor. You are just taking the role, you are just playing that role and not you are that person. We get enrolled. And therefore, when you are enrolled in that role, you go through roller coaster of life. Sometime happy, sometime unhappy. Whereas the person who has recognized himself, according to Vedanta very clearly says, Atma Akarta, not the doer. Bhagavan will say, Pashyan, Shrunvan, Sprashan, Jigran, Ashnan, Gachan, Shwapan, Shwasan, Pralaban, Visrujan, Jigran, Unmishan, Nimishan, Napi, Indriyan, Indriyarteshu Vartanta, Iti Dharayan, Naiva Kinchit Karomi, Iti Yukto Manyeta Tattvavit. The word Yuktaha means na karma, na karta aham iti yaha manyate sa Yuktaha. I'm not the doer. One who knows that is called a Yuktaha. This light, you all are able to see this light there in this LED lamps. Light is shed by the filament and not by the current. But in the presence of that power, the lamp or the filament is expressing its nature. Light is not current. Current is not light. But light is possible in the presence of the current. Isn't it? In the presence of the power alone, the lamp is expressing or the filament is expressing its own ability. What is called? Its own ability to illumine. When you switch off from here, that filament no more has the supply of the power and therefore it cannot function as a light. In the same way, in the presence of the self, the Atman alone, sense organs are doing their actions. Therefore, I am that presence in whose presence eyes are able to see, ears are able to listen. Yenekshate. Morning class. Yenekshate shrunotitam jigrativya karoti cha swadu aswadu vidanati tat prajnana urdiritam. Yena, by which ikshate, seeing takes place, shrunoti, listens, jigrati, smells, vyakarodi, speaks, swadu aswadu vijanadi, knows the taste and no taste. Tat prajnanam, that is the prajnanam, iti utiritam. Chaturmukhendra deveshu manushya ashva gavadishu chaitanyamekam brahmataha prajnanam mai api. So, that prajnanam, that consciousness, that awareness is akarta, not the doer. Even though in the midst of actions, it is engaged as though karmani indriyanam of the indriyas, mana buddhi. In that, those which are acting, sense organs are doing their work, mind is thinking, intellect is analyzing, mouth is speaking, legs are walking, hands are grasping, everything is going on. But there is a continuous awareness, aham na karta. I am not the doer. This one who has is a buddhiman. Manushyeshu buddhiman. So, dharma is performed to purify this mind so that such a mind can continuously contemplate on this. Presently, even we have this knowledge, let us say you hear it or read it from Gita, but when we come to the field of action, we forget it. We become identified with what body does, what the mind feels, or the intellect thinks. The one who is constantly aware of that. Karmani akarma yah pashyet sabuddhiman manusheshu yuktaha krishna karma krit. Even though he is engaging all actions. Gurudev used to say, because of knowledge you don't stop working, but you choose to work. There is a difference between choosing to work and working. Because a man of knowledge, he can make the choice of to work or not to work. We don't have that choice. Because our desires are pushing us so far, so fully, so forcefully, we cannot but act. Whereas a person of knowledge is one, since he is not impelled or pushed by the desire, therefore he chooses to work. As much, why I gave the example, that father is playing the game, he chooses to lose. Yeah. Why? Because he is not losing anything anyways. He chooses to lose, he chooses to play, he chooses to win, he chooses not to win. The actor is choosing that character and playing it. He is not going to be suffering the nature or the activities of that play, of that character that happens on the drama stage. Because he chose to play that character. He knows what is going to come. As a character, I may be abused, I may be scolded at. Buddha was walking along with Lord Buddha was walking along with the disciples. And in one place where he went and he and his disciples went and Bhavati Bhiksham Dehi, please give us alms. So the person who was in that house, a palatial house, he came out and said, you fellows, atta katta admi, why don't you work? Begging, useless fellows, and went on abusing left and right. So Buddha looked at him, and if you do not want to give, thanks. Then we went to the next house or whatever there. Then they proceeded on, and at the end of the day, they sat down and ate what they have got it, and then Buddha was sitting in meditation quietly. So the disciples were so restless and unhappy. He understood what is wrong with you all. How dare that person can scold you? He doesn't know who you are. And we are so upset that he abused you. Are you feeling very upset about it? Yes. And you are not? They asked him. He said, I didn't take it. If you take it, go and give it back. I didn't take it. He gave, but I didn't take it. As much as that beggar is abused in that drama stage, the actor doesn't take it. Only the character takes it. And as a character, he may react or may not react also. That choice is fully there for him. Is it not? And if he is just abiding himself as the actor, he will only smile from within. Whom are you blaming? Whom are you shouting at? To this character, which I am not. He will smile. And in the green room, he'll say, you really abused very well. Huh? You did a very good acting there. You really added more words also, because you don't like me. You abused more than what you are in the script also. Unaffected. Sayukta Krishna karma krit. So karmani akarma. One who sees actionless presence in the action. Bhagavan Krishna doesn't stop there. He first said, karmani akarma yaha pashyet. Then immediately goes to the next one, akarmani cha karma. In inaction is his action. What does it mean? In action, he says inaction. In the action of the senses and the mind, etc., he sees the actionless presence of one's own self. But at the same time, when he sits in meditation, because of the actionless presence of the Brahman alone, all action are taking place. Akarmani karma. In that actionless presence alone, all activities are going on. Akarmani karma. Karmani akarma. Karmani akarma is in the actions of the senses and the mind, the actionless presence of the self. Because of the actionless presence of the self alone, all actions. Now, when you go to the state of sleep, not now, later, do you do anything? Is it not? Your body is breathing. Physical body is growing. And your blood circulation is happening. Nails are growing. Hair is not growing. All the things that are happening, in whose presence? Do you do anything? Do you do anything? So you even though you are not doing, all things are happening there. Right? So all actions are happening because of his presence. Akarmani karma. Karmani akarma. So Bhagavan says, he who understands this, he who knows. Also, another interpretation is a person who is sitting quietly in deep meditation. From the other standpoint, he is not doing anything. But there is a powerful presence is going on there. Powerful activity of abidance is taking place. Gurudev used to give this example. It was in a village where a milkman, early morning he milks the cows and takes the 2 cans of milk and cycling all the way to the nearest town, and he sells every day he would sell the milk and take money, whatever money he would get out of the sale, and he will buy things for the cows and for the household, and he will come back home in the same route he would go, and then he will come home and feed the cows, etc., and all other things. Everyday routine. One day, as he started biking towards the town, he saw one man sitting next to a lake, young man sitting next to a lake, and he was taking a stone and he was throwing into the water and watching it. And then again took the stone and throw it there. So this milkman who was cycling, what a waste of time. Not you, So what a waste of time. Young man he is, instead of working, he is sitting there and throwing stone in the water. Me, see, early morning I got up and milked the cows and now cycling all the way, go to the city and then sell the product and then buy things and come back home, again cycling back, and then so hard work. In this age also. He went. Then the rest of the day he spent in the marketplace. And so after selling all his milk and buying everything, he was coming back in the cycle again. The same place, without any change, this fellow sitting. This fellow, look, what a tragedy. What has come to this world? Young men are not working. Cursing himself, cursing the world, everything, he went back to his place. Next morning, he came, cycling, same place, same person. He was so upset. Anyway, he didn't say anything, he went. That day also he finished all his job and he was coming back. Same place, same person, doing the same. He put his cycle aside. Useless. Hard work is what makes you a successful person. Just sitting and throwing stones. We have nothing else to do. Left and right he gave him. That person looked at him and he smiled. What are you smiling at? Go and do some work. He was so satisfied. Upadesh diya maine. Chalo. So he went back home and next morning he came cycling, looked at, that fellow was not there. This is how it should be. The fellows have to be taught proper lesson. And few days later, maybe a month later, when he was in the bazaar, in the marketplace, he saw a huge, pavilion. And everybody was crowded there. He said, what is this place? Went inside. There are so many different beautiful art paintings were there. Painting exhibition. So he went and looked at all of that. And he saw one painting which had the beautiful lake, and as though it's like a photograph, beautiful lake with that circles and concentric circle, and when a little drop of water and how beautifully it spreads out. Wow. So he looked at, and who could be the artist here who did such an excellent job of picturizing? To his utter surprise, it was that man. That young man. And he was standing and smiling at him. You did this? Yes. But you were just wasting time there and sitting there and throwing stone. I was not just throwing stone. I was picturizing the entire thing in my mind. How to reproduce it in the canvas. So even though you thought I'm not doing anything, an intense activity was going on in my mind. What? Grasping the entire picture in my mind so that I can reproduce it. In the same way, a man of meditation, when he is sitting in deep contemplation or in the seat of meditation absorbed, from other standpoint, what is he doing? Nothing. Akarmani karma. The deep meditation, state of meditation is engaged in. You may call it as a karma, but it is from the standpoint of the others, it is not a karma. From other standpoint, he is doing nothing. Even when you go to state of dream in the night, from other standpoint, what are you doing? Lying on the bed. But what is happening? You are running away from the tiger. None other than your husband has taken the form of a tiger there, and you are running away from him. So that intense activity is going on in your dream. But from the other standpoint, what? You're just lying down there. Sometimes you will see the flight also going so fast. But from your standpoint, it is going at what speed? Can't even imagine what speed it is going on. So what you see as actionless is full of action. What you see is full of action is actionless. Sabuddhiman. Meaning what? One who sees the very nature of a thing, very core of the essence, from the standpoint of the absolute. Such a person is Buddhiman, Manusheshu. Even as he engages in all actions, sayuktaha Krishna karma krit. Even though he engages in all different activities, his mind is remaining in that self in whose presence alone actions are going on. At the same time, it is actionless. But even though it is actionless, in whose presence alone all actions can happen. Sabuddhiman manushyeshu sayukta krishna karma kriti. And this knowledge is not available for one who does not have the faith in the scriptures, for it is not perceivable by the senses. This knowledge is available to the one who takes the authority of the scriptures, the words of the great masters, and experiments it and finds it out. It is not an external experimentation. And therefore he says, Shraddhavan lapate jnanam tatpara sanyatendriyaha jnanam labdva param shantim achirenadhigacchati. Jnanam labate. He gains this knowledge. Shraddhavan. Buddhiman, what is said before, in the same way, Shraddha yasyasti saha Shraddhavan. One who has Shraddha. The very word Shraddha means Shraddhadati. It is Shraddha, that which gives you absolute truth. That which can bestow you absolute knowledge. Like when you have taken a particular profession as your career, how do you know that you will become that professional? Whether you have taken medicine or a law, or journalism, or computer science, or engineering, or architecture, whatever it be, whatever you have taken it as your field of action, before you started to read and understand whatever is necessary, would you know that you will be that? No, you based upon your own faith in yourself. I think I can be one. You go in a flight, would you check who is the pilot? You go to the cockpit and say, who is the pilot here? I am. Show me your certificate. Would you? How do you know that you will fly the aircraft and then reach the place? How do you know? Faith. Is it not true? In many aspects of our life, we indirectly or directly must have faith. Without that, we cannot move forward at all. You go to a restaurant and eat. You have faith that the fellow has cooked correctly. When people give bhiksha, I pray very intensely. Even though I have faith, but I have to have faith that they know that they are cooking, they know cooking. That's why I asked the teenager, did you cook? No, thanks. Because I have to do extra prayer if that is the case. Who gains the knowledge? One who is able to have faith in the source of knowledge. Guru में श्रद्धा होना चाहिए, शास्त्र में श्रद्धा होना चाहिए. First and foremost Shraddha is that what I am seeking as Brahman is. That's the first Shraddha. But what I am seeking, that absolute moksha purusha. Brahman means moksha. Moksha means sukham anandam. That is a goal, is, which I want to reach. Therefore, asti. What? Brahma asti. Satvastu asti. That is the first Shraddha. Second Shraddha is Shastra can guide me to reach there. Second. Shastreshu or Pramane Shraddha, in the means of knowledge. Third, one who is helping me to understand the Pramana, Guru. Guru Vakyeshu Shraddha. Fourth is the means which the Guru tells me not only understand the scriptures, but you have to practice a sadhana. In that sadhana margeshu Shraddha. Fourth one. Fifth one is, I can do it. Atmani Shraddha. Panchavada Shraddha is necessary. In the Sattvastu, in the Pramana, in the Guru, in the Sadhana, and in oneself. Then only Jnanam labate saha. Shraddhavan labate jnanam. And all this is possible only when he keeps that goal as the highest. Tatparaha. We lose interest very easily. Swamiji, when I attend your class and all, everything is fine. After that, after that, I don't lose interest. So continuously engaging in these various practices like listening, etc., that alone can keep us inspired. Once in a while you do it. I want to reduce my weight and do exercise. That's what the doctor said. Are you doing? Yeah. How often? Once a week. Once a week you do it, nothing will happen. Why not eat once a week? Eat, but doing that or exercise you will not do every day. That means you do not have that eagerness. You don't consider that as important. So considering that as a priority, that is called tatparata. Tadeva param idi bhavaha. That alone is what I want. So here he not only says Shraddha you need on these 5 different kinds of Shraddha, and secondly, you need to have a constant desire to reach there. Tatparata. Third one he says is the impediment or the obstacle on the way is Indriya Lolutvam. The sense organs which are habitually are animalistic. Animalistic nature of ours is expressed through the restlessness of the senses. It is said in one place by Bhagavan Shankaracharya, that is called knowledge which quietens your senses. Tajnanam prasamagaram yatindriyanam tajneyam yatupanishatsu nishchitatam te dhanya buri paramatta nishtiteha seshastu brahmanilaye paribramantah. What is knowledge? Knowledge is that having gained which your senses become quiet. If in spite of knowledge, senses are still restless, that knowledge is imperfect knowledge. So, Indriya, the Tatpara Sanyata Indriya, Sanyamanam, Indriya Sanyamanam. These 3, when you have it, the result is what? Shanti. Jnanam labdva, having gained the knowledge, with tatparata, having kept that absolute as the priority, with the proper mastery over the senses, what you get? Jnanam labdva param shanti, the supreme peace. And when do you get Swamiji? Achirena adhigacchati, quickly. There's no delay there. Achirena, without much delay, adhigacchati. All of us want, if you ask, what do you want in your life? Peace of mind, Swamiji. You get peace of mind only when your mind is not in pieces. Mind is in pieces, then how will you get a peace of mind? So here we'll see more of it in tomorrow's class, and we will complete a portion of this. Tomorrow will be the last session in the evening. And as you all know, these kind of programs cannot happen without a facility like this. One person, when somebody told me this story, one person, a professor of a college, he was going in a bike, and just before he went into the university, it got punctured in India. The tire got punctured. So he immediately, there was a fellow outside, because these fellows are in an appropriate place, they will be there. Outside, because that's where the traffic, everything would be. So he went there. So that fellow says it will take at least 30 minutes, sir. He looked at the time, only 10 minutes for his class to go. So, can I leave it and go? No, sir, you be there and I'm closing the shop, so I cannot wait for you. Okay. So he started to repair that tire puncture. At the exact time, at 10 minutes to his class, he stood there in the very corner of that street itself and started giving lecture. His class lecture. So that fellow who was repairing, he said, what are you trying to do here? I'm giving lecture. But nobody is there to listen. There also. So if I am giving lecture, there must be an audience, no? For audience to see, there should be a place. So this facility and all other things are definitely necessary for us to conduct these kind of programs. So your contribution, your Guru Dakshina, what we call it as, is not meant for any other purpose other than making such programs possible. And it is also a gratitude towards the lineage of teachers who made sure this knowledge is passed on to the maximum number of people. Because Shravanat eva jnanam. By listening alone, true knowledge takes place. So for listening, obviously, the facility, the whole arrangement has to be done. And therefore, I thank all the organizers for doing that. And also, you should thank the organizers by contributing to Guru Dakshina. So you'll be given the Guru Dakshina envelope when you leave. As I said, it is Dakshina, not Dhanam. Dhanam you give out of sympathy. Dakshina you give out of gratitude. So that envelope tomorrow when you bring, you can write your name outside and email, etc. And inside you have to, whatever be the contribution, you add it. So fill outside, full inside. That's called fulfilling experience. So we'll see tomorrow then. Hari Om. Oh, I didn't do the Shanti Mantra. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kasya Dukkha Bhat Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.